Hey everyone, I hope everyone's doing good. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and jump in to chapter 4 of Masterminds Criminal Destiny. Alright, chapter 4 is from Amber's perspective. It's the biggest piece of plate glass I've ever seen. A window that must be 1,000,000 feet wide by 1,000,000 feet high. In it, there's a beach, a whole beach made of plastic sand, plastic water, and plastic people wearing bathing suits, wraps, shorts, flip-flops, hats, and sunglasses. Their clothes are the only part that's real, plus the umbrella and the beach ball. I don't get it, says Malik. What's this supposed to be? And why are all the people fake? It must be some kind of art gallery, Tori suggests. She wrinkles her nose, disappointed. It isn't very good. I think it's a store, Eli puts in. Look, there are price tags on all the clothes, not the people, though. It can't be a store, I tell them. The building takes up a whole block. In Serenity, our general store fits in one room, and that includes the lunch counter, our only restaurant. Well, if it is a store, they can't be doing much business because there's no way to get in. We stand staring for a while until we notice people entering and exiting what looks like a giant glass paddle wheel on its side. That's messed up, Malik announces. I'm not walking into that thing. I glare at him. Don't be such a baby. I step into a wedge-shaped compartment and wait for the contraption to move. It doesn't. Is it broken? Eli wonders. At that moment, a large lady carrying several shopping bags barrels onto the wedge opposite mine on the inside and gives the glass a shove. The paddle wheel turns, whacking me on the behind and tossing me into the store. I stagger into a rack of leather handbags, knocking 3 of them on the floor. While I'm straightening up after myself, the others find the courage to navigate the strange entrance and join me. This place is kind of like a fantasy land. The ceiling must be 40 feet high, and everything is chrome and crystal and gleaming. Aisles of merchandise stretch as far as the eye can see, and that's just the main floor. They have staircases that move, taking people to upper levels, each one probably just as spectacular and jam-packed with products for sale. Well, you can almost see Eli working it out in his mind. If our store serves less than 200 people, when you've got a whole city, you need a bigger one to sell that much more stuff. That doesn't explain everything, Troy puts in. This isn't just more, it's beautiful, it's better. I'm not convinced. I don't know. How many different kinds of coffee pots do you need? All you want is something to make coffee. It's about choice, Tori explains, peering up at the rack of colorful dresses. That's something we never had. It's pointless. The outside world has problems, crime, poverty, homelessness. What's more important, solving them or making lots of junk to sell in gigantic stores? The most stunning young woman I've ever seen comes up to Tori and me and shoots a cloud of strong perfume over us. I start to choke. What was that for? Melody, she says silkily. A new fragrance by Bertrand St. Rene. She drifts off to spray some other poor and unsuspecting soul. Man, you guys stink, Malik observes. Let's get out of here, Eli decides. We've got no use for perfuming coffee pots. The things we need are way more basic than that. Food, shelter, and money, adds Malik, checking the price tag on a stainless steel microwave. I think the outside world is expensive. We manage to catapult ourselves back out through the paddle wheel door. The strong odor of Melody comes with us. Okay, says Tori. Food and shelter. Especially food, Malik adds. They're wrong. If I were making one of my to-do lists for Denver, food, shelter, money would be on it, sure. But those things wouldn't be at the top. Things to do today. Absolutely prioritize. She has one bullet, and it says, figure out where we stand. We're clones. Exact genetic copies of some seriously bad criminals. We had no parents. We were created in test tubes using cells of the people we're cloned from. Fine, we get that. It's kind of gross and a little mind-blowing, but there's no point in obsessing over it because here we are. The one thing we can't do is change the past. The real question is, how do clones fit into society? Are there a lot of us? I can't stop scanning the vast crowds of people in downtown Denver. How many of them are clones? 1%? 10%? More? Could it be a common thing? Randy didn't think so. And how do you tell who's who? The McNally students didn't seem any different from us, and neither did the non-Osiris Serenity kids. So what's our status? Are clones the same as regular people, and are we second-class citizens, outcasts, monsters even? And what about the criminals we're cloned from? Do we get blamed for their bad deeds? Are we criminals too because of them? That seems pretty unfair, but anything is possible. The truth is we don't know. We might as well have just landed on another planet. First things first, I tell the others, we need to find out what it means to be a clone. I wish I had my iPad, Eli says wistfully. We need the internet. We had internet in Serenity, but it turned out to be fake. Project Osiris controlled everything we were exposed to. We wander around a while, peering into shop windows with wide eyes. It seems crazy that you can buy toilet paper in one store and then walk next door where they'll sell you a $5,000 handbag. Not far down the block is a huge display of movies. We recognize a few, but anything with guns or explosions or fighting on the cover is completely new to us. Tori points across the street. How about that place? They have internet. I read the sign. Bites and Bites. Internet cafe and think tank. Try our world-famous homemade hummus. They have food, Malik amends. Let's go. We have to be careful with our money, Eli reminds us. You'll save a fortune in funeral expenses when I don't starve to death, Malik assures him. I won't try to say Bites and Bites is a nice place or even a bad one because we have absolutely nothing to compare it to. This place smells like coffee, but it's pretty clean with computers on all the tables. The other customers look up when we come in. Once again, I'm expecting someone to yell out a clone warning and tackle us while the cashier pulls the clone alarm. Then the police will send the clone squad to put us in clone cuffs and haul us away to clone prison. I've got to get a grip. The customers go back to their snacking and web surfing, and we find a free table. Eli slides in behind the keyboard, and the rest of us head up to the counter. Note to self, never buy food when you're super hungry. We clean that place out, spending far more than any of us want to admit to Eli. We even try the world-famous hummus. Within minutes, every last crumb is gone. There's something about watching Eli when he's on the internet. His fingers dance across the keyboard at improbable speeds, and his concentration is so perfect that you could shoot off fireworks next to his ear and he wouldn't notice. The web pages pile up, overlaying one another on the screen. Definitions of clone, history of cloning, medical details, cloning technology, to clone or not to clone, and ethical analysis, cloning in animals. Don't keep us in suspense, Malik prods. Are we human or what? How many others are there just like us? I am. At last, Eli leans back. None, he replies. We can barely hear him. None? Tori echoes. Scientists have experimented with cloning cells, Eli says. They've cloned animals with different degrees of success. No people. You mean we're it? Demands Malik. According to this, Eli explains, the larger, more complex the organism, the harder it is to clone. The main reason there are no humans clones, he takes a deep breath. Human cloning is illegal in every single country in the world. We're silent as this sinks in. Over the past weeks, we've come to accept the fact that we're clones, but never do we consider that we might be the only ones. Tori finds her shaky voice first. I always knew Project Osiris was some kind of mad sciencey, but this makes us freaks. Eli and Malik are pale as ghosts. Are you kidding? I crow. This is the best news I've heard since we busted out of Serenity. Malik glares at us. How do you figure that? Think. This is proof positive that the whole Project Osiris is a crime. Don't you see? All we have to do is go to the police and tell them about it. And if they ask us for evidence, it's us. I don't know if that's such a good idea, Eli says. I mean, we were nervous about revealing ourselves as clones when we thought there were probably others. But now we'll be telling them that a whole new type of human exists. That's going to be a big shock. All the more reason why they can't ignore us, I argue. And when the cops ask us who we're clones of, Malik prompts, we'll tell the truth, I reply readily. That isn't our fault either. None of us were crooks. We were just cloned from them. The real criminals in all of this is our so-called parents. When we expose Osiris, the police will arrest them and shut down Serenity for the fraud that it is. I'm not so sure I want my parents arrested, Tori says. Maybe they deserve it, but her voice trails off. Malik's face is flushed, and even Eli looks a little torn. His dad, Felix Hammerstrom, is the top dog of Project Osiris. If anybody needs to be locked up, it's him. Believe me, I understand. When I picture my mother, I don't see evil, I see mom. We weren't mistreated or abused. We felt love. Maybe we were loved in a way, but that doesn't change the fact that the reason our families resembled real families is it was part of an experiment. Listen, you guys, I told them, I know it's tough to turn on the people who raised you. It's tough for me too. But when the Purples came after us at McNally, who do you think sent them? We'll never be free until we take down Project Osiris once and for all. They don't look convinced, which frankly amazes me. It's a big decision, but it isn't a very hard one. Right is right and wrong is wrong. What more do they need? I play my trump card. It's just about us. It isn't just about us, you know. There are 6 more kids just like us, still in Serenity under Osiris's thumbs. We owe them the same chance at a life that we want for ourselves. Good point, Eli concedes. They're all good points, but we have to be careful to think everything through before we do anything rash. For how long? I shoot back. Until the Purples catch up with us and drag us back to Serenity. I glance out the cafe window and immediately spot a uniformed police officer. He's standing in the middle of a busy intersection, directing the traffic with hand signals and a whistle. Trust me. Amber, wait, Tori pleads. But I'm already running out the front door. There's no time like the present for doing the right thing. I learned that from Mom in contentment class. I take some satisfaction in using a Serenity slogan to help put an end to their sick game. The instant I step into the road, there's angry honking, screeching brakes, and I'm almost hit by a taxi. In the outside world, even when you're doing the right thing, you'd better watch where you're going. By the time I make it to the policeman, I must be wild-eyed and breathless. He's not pleased with me. What's your problem, kid? Have you ever seen a red light before? Well, not before a few days ago, but it's more important to get to the point. I want to report a crime. His eyes are suddenly alert. What crime? Human cloning. He looks startled. That's a new one on me. We don't get much human cloning in the traffic department. I have to shout to be heard over the engine noise and honking. I'm part of an experiment in Serenity, New Mexico. They made 11 clones, but only 4 of us escaped. He cuts me off. You know, interfering with a police officer in the performance of his duty is against the law. Do you think this is some kind of joke? People are trying to get places and they can't because you're out here pulling my chain. I'm trying to tell you about a serious crime, an experiment called Project Osiris. Where's your mother? He demands. Aren't you listening? I explode. I don't have a mother. I'm a clone. I guess I finally get through to him because his anger and impatience disappear. He starts the traffic moving again and speaks into his walkie-talkie. I need a black and white. I've got a situation here. We make our way to the far corner. Thank you for listening to me, I say gratefully. I know this must be a shock. We only learned the truth ourselves a couple of weeks ago. Uh-huh. A police car pulls up to the curb and I'm bundled into the back seat. I'm filled with a very Serenity-like sense of righteous justice. It won't be easy to watch our parents be put on trial, but this is the best course for us. The only course, really. The others will thank me in the end. The traffic cop speaks to the driver. Tell them to call a shrink who works with kids. The rear door locks engage with a loud click. No, I'm not crazy. It's the truth, I cry. I yank at the handle, but it clicks uselessly. The black and white makes a wide U-turn and heads for the police station. The last thing I see before we roar away is Eli, Tori, Malik, their faces pressed against the front window of Bites and Bites. They don't look grateful. They look very, very scared. Alright guys, that's the end of that chapter. Oh goodness. That was kind of crazy. I'm not sure what I think about Amber's decision in doing that. I don't know if that was so smart. I know she was trying to do the right thing, but I don't know if she thought that through, did she?